Hi everyone, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today for this week's question and answer video. I'm a life coach and I try to help people heal and grow from different kinds of trauma. Specifically, the biggest one is emotional trauma, abusive, neglectful, traumatic relationships with people. If you think that my information here is beneficial to you or could be to somebody else, all of you can assist me and support me by going down below, subscribing to this channel. Go down there and ask me questions, comments, say hello, vote on the video up or down, tell me why. You can share this with somebody else. You can post this on your own social media accounts, the link to it, or you can put it in a playlist, things like this. It really helps me. I appreciate it. All this that I do, I've been doing for years. I do it for free, and I'm hoping that this information reaches far enough to people that there are people that get the help that they need. That's all I'm looking for. So please support me if you can. Thank you very much. Something I like to do every week is recommend something to help you guys heal from trauma, something to assist you in whether that's better sleep or some information, things like this. This week, I want to recommend something I've recommended a few times over the years, and it is such a great thing to do and to have, and that's a pet, adopting a pet. Last year, when C-19 hit, just over a year ago, I immediately started recommending to adopt dogs and cats out of animal shelters. It's a huge problem, huge problem. Millions of animals are euthanized every year around the world because people are not taking the responsibility, and for whatever other reasons, they cannot have a pet. And it winds up in these animal shelters where they don't hold on to them for very long before they euthanize them. Amazingly, last year, I looked into this and saw that a lot of animal shelters across America were emptying out because of this, of what was going on last year. And I was thrilled to see that. It was really nice, amazing. I don't think that's ever happened, anything like that. Sadly, they're returning. A lot of people who picked up pets during the C-19 last year for that reason, they are now, their lives are returning maybe back to normal, whatever reason, they are returning these pets to the shelters, and shelters are euthanizing these, totally healthy, young, great animals that don't need to be. It's just there's nobody there to take care of them, to give them a home. So I encourage all of you, please consider adopting a pet, a cat or dog out of a shelter. I can't tell you how much good it does for the shelter and for the animal. Obviously, the animal gets to find a home. And when we take an animal from a shelter, it opens up a spot for them to take another animal in and hopefully find them a home. Not only that, it is extremely beneficial for you, for people, everybody, especially people who have experienced trauma, who are healing from this trauma right now. One thing it does, and I've talked about before, is it raises something called oxytocin. Oxytocin is a chemical produced in your body that is probably down to that low in most of you watching these videos. If you suffer from trauma, if you're depressed and anxious, things like this. Dependent relationships, without getting too far into it, dependent relationships. We start getting dependent on the rise and fall of our hormones during these toxic relationships. The I love you and I hate you and you're the only one in my life. Oh, there's somebody else. I'll never leave you. Goodbye. These kinds of things, getting back together. And these happy hormones, I call them, rise and fall to the point where we become dependent on this toxic relationship, where we can't do it ourselves. And when the relationship ends, we crash hard. And a lot of you, even in today's questions, are asking me what this is or what I can do to help this. And I'm telling you, an animal in your life can really help. If you can raise up oxytocin this way, which is not dependent on somebody else, you will feel a lot better. The reason you feel so low is because you're low in oxytocin is one reason. Serotonin, there's others, but this is a major one. The trust hormone, the love hormone, the hug hormone. Introducing an animal into your life, looking into their eyes and petting them, stuff like this, raises oxytocin. You will feel better, period. You won't feel alone. A lot of you guys are depressed and might be isolating at home by yourself. You may have lost family and grieving, losing this person and your future and maybe financial things and belongings. Get a dog or a cat. bring them into your life and giving them life, it's an amazing relationship. It can be, okay? It can really, really help you. So please consider it, okay? Thank you. Anybody who does it, please let us know down there. All right? Thank you very, very much. Okay, so let's get ready. We're started with the questions right away. Great questions this week. There always are, but I like them particularly this week. I think the theme would be how I trust again after a narcissistic relationship. Adrian from the United States. Hello, Adrian. Why do we feel like we are under a spell in a relationship with a narcissist? And I said, because she was a witch, Adrian. Why would you, Adrian, feel like you're under a spell in this relationship? I can probably come up with all kinds of different things. One that just jumped out to me now is you don't get to be yourself. Okay? And any of you who've done this with me before have heard me say this, just try to follow me again if you can. I'm not going to take long. Under a minute, 30 seconds. I broke down what I think our true authentic self into 5 parts is. Okay? And as we go, you guys can do this too, right? So if you guys dated a narcissist who abused you and traumatized you and neglected you, then that means they don't really care who you are, your true authentic self. If they don't care who you are, did they love you? Did they love who you are or what you are? Okay? So if we're going to have a relationship with a narcissist, there's no room for our true authentic self. This is what I mean. All of you guys can do this. You tell me, did the narcissist you were with and date and traumatize you and abused you, not just one time, the whole relationship, the whole person, did they care about your feelings? Because that's a major part of who you are. Right? They couldn't have cared about your feelings if they didn't have empathy, if they didn't apologize, if they didn't try to make you feel better, and they hurt you repeatedly the same way. I don't care what they said. They showed you they don't care how you feel. So let's take that part of yourself out of the relationship. Can't be in it. You either going to have the relationship in your life or you're going to start caring about your feelings. Because if you're going to have the relationship, a narcissist in your life and have that relationship, then you have to start ignoring how it feels, how bad it is. You can't make it better with that person. So we have to get rid of it. Who cares how we feel? Block it off, numb it, maybe drink. Do they care about your needs, your emotional needs? Were they there to make you feel secure and give you your autonomy and privacy, emotional connection? Were they supportive in all your other relationships in your life? Was there meaning and purpose in your relationship? Stuff like this? No, there wasn't. There wasn't. Take that part of yourself out because they didn't care about that part of you. They didn't care about your feelings or what you need. Okay? The other one is what you want. Did they care about what you want? Think about the things that you wanted in that relationship, the things that you asked for, told them that you wanted, and you didn't ever get. They might have said they cared, but did they show it? No. Take that away too. Okay? Now we have our values, right? Think about some of the morals that you value. If all of you value, just easy question, anybody watching this, if you value respect, honesty, integrity, acceptance, and loyalty, these are moral values. If you value these things, which I bet you did the narcissist? Did they value those things too? Did they value respect and honesty? Or did they lie and disrespect you and talk bad about other people and judge them, right? So they didn't care what you value. They didn't care about that part of you, of who you are. The last one is opinion, and I'll leave that up to you if you think they valued your opinion. But the fact that you don't have an emotional connection with a narcissist means just that. They do not value your opinion, okay? So there's no room for you, Adrian, in a relationship with a narcissist. You can't be there. It's only about what you are, what you provide, and that's all that matters, okay? And so if we're in a relationship where we totally compromise, sacrifice, and lose ourselves, we might feel like we're under a spell. It's kind of like our parents, how they raised us to be quiet, just do what they say, value the same things they value, and not be your true, authentic, autonomous self. And we're just like a puppet. We just, jump how high? Okay, just jump, right? That's one reason why you might have felt like you're under a spell with a narcissist, because you didn't get to be yourself. You didn't get to express yourself and get what you need and ask for what you want and voice your opinion. None of that stuff mattered. It's almost like, who were you, right? In that relationship. I hope that helps. Let me know, Adrian. Thank you. Victoria from the Bay Area. Hello. Oh, and please tell us your locations, everybody. Let us know where you are at. Thank you. I have a question. I felt very guilty when I finally left my unhealthy relationship. I kept telling myself, how could I leave a mentally ill person on the streets? Homeless, of course. I'm over it now. Is that common? Because it took a long time to process. Extremely common. I hear that all the time. And these are codependent relationships. This is where somebody depended on you. Think of a giver and a taker in a codependent relationship. Think of the husband who's an alcoholic who drinks a 6-pack at night, and when after the 6th beer, he might be abusive, verbally abusive, or hit his wife, right? But his wife goes to the store every day and gets him that beer. She depends on him being there still. And so she gives and gives and gives, and he takes and takes and takes, right? You're used to, what I'm guessing, most of us that enter these kinds of relationships where we take care of people all the time and give and not receive, that kind of shows our childhood. And this can be very hard to identify, okay? I can help people do this. But we learn what love is from our family, from our parents, okay? And if our parents were dependent on us at all, to be there for them, to do what they want all the time, to be who they want us to be, that's narcissistic, not narcissist, narcissistic. And we learn that they depend on us, and that's what love is. Love means people need us. And even if we don't get what we need, which we don't, we're neglected and we don't get our needs, we still give, and we're still there for our mom and dad. And we still, whether it's get good grades and dress the way they want and never complain and never ask for what we really need and be okay with that. This is conditioning to help us in our adult relationships to be the same. And we find people who aren't giving us what we need. We find people that will take, and we just give it, a never-ending supply of it. It never really helps them. We all say we want to help them. We want to help them be better people and all this stuff, but we keep trying, and they're not really doing it themselves, and it's never ending. It just keeps going and going. I hope that makes some sense. I felt very guilty when I left my unhealthy relationship. I kept telling myself, how could I leave a mentally ill person on the streets? And that's not where you didn't put them there, right? You didn't make them mentally ill. You didn't take away everything they own and go drop them off on the street, say, get out of here. And anyways, they're adults. They're not your responsibility. And that is where that comes from, period. I don't know you, Victoria, and I hope you're not taking it personally, but that's just where it comes from. Learning what love is from our parents, that our parents needed us no matter what. Unconditional love. We have to unconditionally love our parents instead of our parents unconditionally loving us. Parents need to unconditionally love us. And they don't need us at all. They don't make us feel like they need us, and they don't get upset if we don't do what they want, and they don't get angry, and they don't do these things, right? It's just parents are always the same. Parents are fine. We don't need you. You need us totally, and we give you every single thing you could possibly need until you want to be independent. And you can't do that if we need you. You can't leave us if we need you. You can't go off to college and not worry about calling us. No, you have to think about us. You can't offend us. You have to be there for us and call us. And I could go on and on. Hope that makes sense, Victoria. Let me know. Thanks. And Carol. Don't know where you're from, but Carol says something cool. Some people are like clouds. Once they disappear, it's a beautiful day. I really like that. What did I say? I like that a lot. Bad people, like bad weather, will always pass, right? Okay. To the B. And I don't know where you're from. Let us know where your locations are, people. One aspect of my situation that boggles my mind is how stubborn the narc is. So stubborn that the narc is willing to displace and alter 3 lives just to feel like they've won. Unbelievable. And it is. I think this is a better way to put it, though. It might help you understand. Because we expect narcissists too much out of them. So I think it boggles my mind how limited they are. How limited. Meaning, what you're suggesting is that they have other options, as if they could be healthy and be nice and respectful and not do this to people. How? That's not how they were raised. They're not fully developed adults. They're children, emotional children. Very limited, extremely limited. It's like, I say this a lot. Take an 8-year-old boy, put a suit on him, put a briefcase in his hand, give him a car, a house, say, this is your wife, your 2 kids, and here's your career. Go. Right? And that's kind of what we're expecting out of a narcissist, aren't we? I can't believe that they're always like this to people. Well, what other way would they be? Like us? Healthy? All of a sudden have empathy, care how you feel, very attentive and aware of your feelings and stuff like that. That's not who they are. That's not who they are. So we can't expect them to be. We hope, we try, we help. We're helping that somebody will be someone that they're not. We're hoping that they'll change and be someone that they can never be. Like us. We want them to be just like us. But it's so much better to start a relationship with ourselves instead. If we love ourselves that much. We don't need to find somebody like us. We have us. Let's find someone a little different, but let's value the same morals. Important. Okay? Thank you. All right. Victoria from the Bay Area again. Hello. I've watched your videos when you first started and you were dealing with kicking your ex-girlfriend out of your life. My question is, how did you feel knowing men would take advantage of her? It must have broke your heart. Can you please tell me how you dealt with the issue? Of course, it's not too personal. Thank you for asking, Victoria. When I started and thank you for supporting my channel for so long. Thank you. When I started my channel, I think trying to think when that was, 5 years ago? Over 5 years ago. I had been single for several years out of that toxic relationship. And when it ended, and anytime we broke up, and anytime she left me, or I tried to leave her, or anytime that happened, I felt just like you guys a lot in your questions, I felt responsible for her. You take care of somebody long enough who's totally helpless, and you feel like, oh, I can't let go, right? I can't let go of him now. You date a borderline girl, say a guy dates a borderline girl, and I think of it as holding her head up, which is holding her whole body up and saying, go here and do this and go that, because the second you stop, they're going to fall flat on their face. Still not your responsibility. In the beginning, I did fear for what would happen to her. I did. I was like, oh man, I hope she doesn't get taken advantage of. She's so weak and this and that. Yeah. After I healed myself and learned what she really is, yeah, I don't worry about her. I worry about every other person's lives she's going to ruin. Yeah. She will attempt to ruin everyone's life that she can. I believe she has antisocial personality disorder. And I don't believe that she's any kind of a victim. She was when she was a child. She's not anymore. I can't really see how anyone's really victimized her in the many, many, many years that I've known her. In childhood, yes. Not in adulthood. I'm scared and I am concerned, but I really don't think about it anymore. But you asking me to think about it, I'm more concerned about all of her victims. They say narcissists ruin about 9 people's lives in their lifetime. I'm sure she'll meet the par. Thanks for asking, Victoria. And I hope that was what you were asking. Let me know and to make sure that is what you're asking, and keep asking. Thank you. Lana, I completed 2 personal sessions with David. I highly recommend him. He opened my eyes now. I know why I took the abuse. On my way to recovery. If you want a better future, invest in yourself and not the narc. Thank you very much, Lana, for saying that very much. But I like how you ended it. That's why I'm reading this. Invest in yourself and not the narc. Commit to yourself, your future, your life, and any other thing you want and want to succeed in. Commit to it by doing something about it and doing something that makes you committed. Yelling out loud, I'm going to do this, right? Getting a professional, hiring a professional, doing every single thing they tell you. We commit and we invest. That's the only way, guys. It's the only way. The saddest thing about all this, honestly, the abuse is horrific. It is. But after it's totally over, it's just the most common thing I see people do, victims, is really nothing. Really not much of anything. They say, oh, I went and found a professional. I had 1 session with them. Typically that's 1 hour or less. I don't know how someone can help you that much. If you went to go see a professional, why just 50 minutes? Or they do nothing. They just sit and wait and isolate and be single for however long it takes to feel a little better. But all of this usually means we're just going to do it again. Or We're not going to have any friends, any family, any lovers in our life anymore. And we're going to be totally sad, lonely, depressed, and not get anything that we need. It's the only way to get our emotional needs is through other people, not alone. Okay? Thank you, Lona, very much. CH from Australia. Hello. Managed to survive 20 years of narc-husband's abuse. Had him set his 2 children up against me for years and their abuse. Then he managed to turn my 2 kids against me. Brutal hatred and discard from the family while I'm still in it. Evil, hateful, maladapted people. How do I heal from the loss of my beloved kids, 22 and 23? We loved and were so close. Seriously, how do I heal from that? Oh, I am so sorry. God, when I hear this, it rips my heart out. You guys that watch my videos, you know how much importance I put on more the mother relationship, especially a mother-daughter. It just seems to be the most impactful to people. I'm very sorry for your loss. Very, very sorry. So we'll be grieving, okay? And don't do it alone. That's just my best advice. Please, please, please don't do this alone. We need to start expressing our emotions in healthy ways, right? That's our anger and maybe we're confused, maybe we're in denial, and start accepting this as much as we can in however much time it takes. Crying is okay. God, I see people that lose people in their lives and say, oh no, I can't cry. Cry, 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 cry. It helps. Talk. We've got to talk. If you don't, you're going to feel so alone with this. So tell people in your lives, talk about this, hire a professional so that you don't have to do this alone, please. I don't know what you've told them, but why don't you think about writing them letters? Okay? And if it's a goodbye letter, write them a goodbye letter. Let them know how much you love them. Let them know how much it hurts. But it's always good in letters to write how you feel and tell them what you want. Ask again. And then respect their wishes. They're very young. If I can give you any kind of hope. 22 and 23 is very young. They're still finding out who they are, forming their personality. So this can change. And it probably will. Pulling away, allowing people to live their own life